Thanks, Jim. Welcome. My name is Greg Young. I'm the current chair of the Northborough Conservation Commission, and this is our August meeting. This open meeting of the Northborough Conservation Commission is being conducted remotely pursuant to Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, signed into law on July 16th, 2022. All members of the Northborough Conservation Commission are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The act allows Northborough Conservation Commission to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream of this meeting may do so by going to Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube via the link listed on the agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Dan Clark.
Here.
Justin Dufresne. You're
Here.
muted, Justin. There you go. Thank you. Todd Helwig.
Here.
Diane Goldner.
Yeah.
Kelly Marston.
Here.
Welcome, Kelly. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Vincent Vignali.
Here.
And Jim DiGiulio.
Here.
Thank you, Jim. Some ground rules. For presenters and/or applicants listed on the agenda, the chair will invite each speaker or applicant on the agenda by name to make a presentation and speak to their application. Participants will provide their full name and hold until the name is called. Each speaker will be asked to mute their phone or computer when not speaking and to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate meeting minutes. Those responding will be asked to wait until the floor is yielded to them by the chair. Speakers who wish to respond to the comments of others do so through the chair, taking care to identify themselves. Each vote taken by the commission will be conducted by roll call. For items with public comment, after members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment as follows. By phone, dial *9 to raise your hand and wait to be recognized. Please note that part of your phone number will be visible to those viewing the meeting. By Zoom, click raise hand on the bottom of your screen and wait to be recognized. The chair will ask members of the public who wish to speak to identify the names and addresses only. Once the chair has a list of all public commentators, the chair will call each by name and afford 3 minutes for any comments. Diane, you ready?
I am. There will be a meeting of the Northborough Conservation Commission on Monday, August 8th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2022, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, signed into law on July 16, 2022, this meeting will be conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance by members of the public will be permitted. To participate in the public comment portion of this public hearing, go to Northborough Remote Meetings YouTube channel or the town website for Zoom information. The meeting will include the following hearings pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, and the Northborough Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice of intent, application for 80 Main Street, map 64, parcel 23, by Blue Water Rental Properties, LLC, for a proposed one-story dwelling to replace the existing dwelling on the same footprint in the buffer zone of a bordering vegetated wetland. That's it.
Okay, the July 20 meeting minutes. I saw Vinny sent those out under separate cover this week. Any questions or comments or concerns for those meeting minutes?
Vincent, I need it as a PDF. I can't open documents,
Okay,
please.
anybody have a comment or question? No concerns? Okay. We need a motion.
The minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Justin. Roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Todd Helwig.
Yes.
Diane, do you want to vote, given you haven't seen them, or you want to just pass?
No, I'll abstain.
Okay. Kelly Marston,
Yeah.
and I vote yes. Very good, thank you. All right, 0 Hudson Street. Vinny, is that a continuance or what's going on there? I see we have a hand up. It's Maureen. Let's bring Maureen in.
Okay, yeah, Maureen from Norse Environmental, probably.
Yep. Hey,
Hi,
Maureen.
How are you?
Good, good.
Good. Maureen Harold from Norse Environmental Services. I wanted to give the commission a quick update. We have not submitted any new material to the commission. I met Vincent and Fred out of the site to look at the wetland boundary in mid-June. And I'm in the process of revising the material and resubmitting it to the commission. And I'd like to request a continuance to September if that is possible.
September 12th.
Please.
Okay. Any questions from the commission, comments? If none, we'll continue. We need a motion to continue.
So move.
Second.
Seconded by, was that Justin?
Todd. Nope.
It was Todd.
Yep.
A vote on the motion to continue. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin,
Yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay. We will see you in September.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maureen. Okay, 93 Maynard Street. I don't see any hands up there.
No, I'm not expecting anyone from the applicant or the owner or the representative. They submitted a request for an extension earlier this week or last week, and just submitted a package of documentation just half an hour ago. So they are hoping, they want an extension until September 12th, and they'll be ready for that.
Good letter of violation they have too, so we'll see what happens in September.
Yes.
Okay. A motion to continue 93 Maynard Street.
I move that we continue 93 Maynard Street.
To September, okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Todd. Roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Uh, 75 Ridge Road, we have 3 NOIs there, and I think, still to check, if we have any hands up. I don't see any. Update on that, Vinny, have a summary of what's going on?
Yeah, similar situation. They're in the midst of responding to questions from the town engineer, the planner, and myself. They have a package pulled together, and we'll be reviewing it probably this week to get more, if there are any more comments, and then just finalize it, and hopefully everything will be ready to address any public concerns that get raised. And they've requested a continuance to the September 12th meeting.
Do they have all of the questions from the citizen group?
Yes, I forwarded both sets to them. Yes, they will address the questions that they can and go from there.
Question here, Vinny, is there any value to sending out that package to the entire commission? The questions from the group?
I can easily do that. No?
We probably should get that out so everybody can see what's being asked and what's being addressed. So there's two packages, just a series of questions and comments from them.
Okay.
That'd be great. Okay, we need a motion to continue 75 Ridge Road, lots 1, 2, and 3 to September.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second,
Seconded by Diane. Roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Continued. Okay. To current business, new business, an NOI for 80 Main Street. Let's see, Glenn is on the phone. He's got his
O'Donnell.
hand up. Don.
Yep, Glenn O'Donnell. Okay, so he has his hand up.
Yep.
All right, so I will pull up the plan. Let's see if I can share my screen.
Glenn should be joining us momentarily.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes.
Okay. So I'm Glenn O'Donnell. I'm the owner of O'Donnell Survey and Mapping. And I'm here with Dave Cooley of Blue Water Rentals. So we're here to present the NOI for 80 Main Street. So the existing site is it's an existing one-story building that's been vacant for how long, Dave?
At least 15 years.
15 years.
Hey, Glenn, 1 second, just 1 second for the commission. If you're not familiar where this property is, it is, I believe it's the first house right at the intersection where Summer Street intersects with Main, right, with 20?
Yes, correct. Yep, right across the street from
Yep.
Stone Motorcycles.
Yeah, Stones is across the way here, and Aluminum City, I guess, is a landmark in Northborough, I heard. And that's right in this location where my little hand is waving on the plan.
Super. Sorry,
And the
Glenn,
building
go
in
ahead.
question is the brown one that's shown here. Assabet River is abutting the or it's part of the property, it's on the property.
Yes, yeah,
There you
it
go.
abuts on the Assabet, yeah.
Yeah, you're incorrect. Where it says Assabet River, on the other side of the river is where Aluminum City is.
Oh, it's on the other side of the river, okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where the property is to me, there's a real estate office and there's a lawyer in there, and there's also an existing residential property there also.
So just so if you can't see, Mr. Odell, the driveway comes off of Main Street, comes around an existing old, it looks like a multifamily residential to parking in the back. And then this building is in the back, past the parking, and it's a small existing building. So just so people have an idea of where it is, you can continue then.
Yep. So it's, an existing one-story, and they're proposing that, they're going to raise that building and, construct a new one-story residential building on the same footprint. So they're going to work within the same footprint as the existing. The terrain that's out there is, somewhat of a gentle slope that heads down to the Assabet River. It's mainly a grassy area. There's no vegetation other than, just grass, some Japanese knotweed that's in there, poison ivy kind of stuff. So they're not looking to, really expand outside of where we're showing the erosion control. So when they construct the new building and the footprint, they will have to over dig, about 4 feet outside, to get the footings in. The stone walls that you see there were once part of an old barn. The old barn, basically sat in the same vicinity as the existing building, and it was, within those stone walls. So the stone wall that's down slope from the existing, yeah, that one there. It ranges, from anywhere from 2 feet up on the southern end to, about 6 feet on the northern end. They will probably have to, get into that wall when they dig for the footings. So we're not really sure what they're gonna like encounter when they're digging in there, since it was, an old barn that sat there. So we don't know like what's gonna be under that. But they want to be they want to maintain somewhat of that existing wall. It just may have to move closer to the 35-foot buffer zone. But other than that, I think they're trying to maintain the existing grades that are around the foundation. They're not really expanding outside of the footprint other than to dig for their footings.
Do you have any pictures here?
I do. Is my picture coming up, or did I share just the other screen?
I'm seeing the plan still.
Okay, I'm going to stop that share and I will share the photograph. Is the photo in?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is looking from the plan on the bottom of the plan up. The brook, the river is off to the left.
Glenn, can you see the plan? Can you see the picture?
Yes, I can. Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, so there's this, I can see some remnants of the stone wall you referred to in that lower left corner.
So it would be the lower left corner by the corner of the white
Front of the building, right?
building.
right
Yeah.
So you've got this, yeah?
Yeah, so it sort of takes a 90-degree turn there and then runs along the back of the building.
Okay, do we have a shot down the slope to the river?
I think so. I didn't have that one preloaded, sorry. Nope, doesn't quite get down to the river. Can you see that photo?
No, I'm seeing the same one.
I don't see a photo yet.
Okay, there we go. So that's on the other side.
That's
That's on
the
you.
best I have. I don't have anything going down the slope here. The river is down to the right.
And the vegetation is pretty similar, to what you're seeing there all the way down to the river. And along the river, probably, 10 to 15 feet off the river edge is Japanese knotweed, that's growing in that area. So it's mainly kind of grass, goldenrod, poison ivy, that's all in that area.
Even though you, this is David speaking, even though you can't see, the river from the picture going down the slope, this area right here is well within our work area that we will be working in. We don't intend to go any further than what you're seeing in this picture with any sort of equipment or excavation or anything like that.
Do we know, are there any oil tanks or fuel tanks inside the building or underneath it that we're aware of?
No, it's gas and sewer, town sewer.
Okay. So then you maybe pop up the plan again?
I hope so.
You're becoming a wizard at this stuff, see?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Right, so that last one was taken pretty much right here, looking back this way. And the first one was taken here, looking that way.
So everything's outside the 35, no structure, right?
Correct.
And what are the proposed erosion control plans here?
So the erosion control is going to be, your typical silt fence and straw wattles. And then, after some discussion with Vincent, we decided that we were going to put up some secondary hay bales, to assist if there's, any overland, transport that, that if there's any ponding that may happen, that the secondary hay bales will catch that before it actually hits the straw wattles. So we've got two places, on the north end and on the south end of, the secondary hay bales for the overflow protection. We tried to put them in the low spots that, we may, if there's, a storm that, is going to have some runoff, that those hay bales are going to catch that.
And when I was reviewing this, the contours, there's not a lot of flow going to these areas. So it's just a stretch of whatever it might be, 40 feet. So it's not an extensive area going to the silt fence and straw wattle. So it should work out. It should be stable.
Okay, questions from the commission? Comments, concerns?
I have a question about, they're taking the building down. Are they using big machines with that? That's not something that could be done otherwise.
What was the question? Can you repeat it again?
What are you going to use to take the building down? What machines?
I will be using an excavator with a grapple on it. So what's nice about a grapple is it's kind of like your fingers. If you take your finger and open them and close it, as if you were almost, doing a motion to speak. That's what an excavator with a grapple will be using. So it'll be, coming down, digging it, grabbing it, and holding the debris tight and filling it in a dumpster up top. Probably 90% of the work that's going to be completed for this entire project will be up on the top surface where it says existing dwelling to be raised. You'll be sitting up top there and working from the top down. Like I said, probably about 90% of it will be from the top down. There's really going to not be too much needed with going down below where it says like that, 277 degree grade.
One other thing is that I know this is a multifamily dwelling. Did they make arrangements, or are you making arrangements for trash? Not so much pickup, but having a place to put the trash and snow.
Yeah, there's a dumpster on site. Any of my units, I own multiple, properties in town, and any units with 3 or more units, I provide a dumpster to be on site for all my tenants.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? Glenn, one of the things that Vinny and I spoke about was, and Vin, you may have addressed with already, was the concrete mixing.
Yeah,
and
so
having some sort of washout.
Yeah, so we discussed that, and Dave and I were discussing that before the meeting. So he's going to scratch out a pit area that's up top around the 279, 280 contour area, so there's a flat area exactly where the hand is right now. So they're going to scratch out an area, for a wash pit right there, after the concrete truck, pours.
And that sounds acceptable. It's really, once they wash out and it hardens, there's no problems at all. The issue is when it's liquid and could run down that slope. So I think that's a good idea to have it up there.
Okay.
More questions from the commission? I don't see any hands up from attendees. Double check in there. Okay. No special conditions required, Benny? Pretty standard.
I think they're pretty standard. The only question would be, they're at the 35-foot no build. Do we want to have some kind of marker along that to limit future encroachment? It seems like it's a tough or a slope going down. they would not likely go in, but having it as a condition every 25 foot, a marker of some sort, that's one of the standard conditions that is an option for the commission.
Yeah, it is a pretty good slope there. I don't think anybody's gonna be cutting down there. And what's the commission think?
Can't hurt, right?
One
Yeah, I'd
marker
probably
can-
think a couple of them. I think at 25 feet, it might be a little overkill, but maybe you put a couple markers in there.
Okay, I can have about
Back of
50
the house.
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what you're gonna see there too, when Dave is, you know, finished with the site work, the wall, that existing wall that's there right now, they're gonna utilize some of that field stone, you know, like right out in front, you know, before that 35 foot. We don't know exactly what the height of that will be, you know, but there will be, you know, some field stone there to, you know, prevent anything from, you know, actually going down the hill, you know, in the future.
Yeah, well, our condition, we have a standard wording on the condition, and it could be just posts with signs. It could also
Yeah.
be boulders. So if you have boulders on the site, that would be the thing to use, it seems, and just so
Sure.
it's a clear designation.
Sure, yep.
If there's no other comments or concerns, let's motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second,
By Diane Gildner. Roll call vote. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Gouldner,
yes,
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Hearing is closed. We need a motion to issue an order of conditions for 80 Main Street with no special conditions other than we're ensuring that we get those markers up of some sort as previously discussed.
Well, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Gouldner,
yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Well set.
All right, thank you, guys.
Well, stay in touch with Vinny, and as soon as you have your control device in place, let him know. We can go and take a look.
Sure, okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All
Good
right.
luck.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, 89 School Street. This is a change to the project. This is, if you remember that we had them last year, they wanted to put a patio in back. We gave them order of conditions to do some plant some bushes and do some mulching. Do we have any pictures of any of what they had turned out? Came out pretty well.
Oh, I don't have pictures of how it turned out. I have the plan. I didn't take any photos in the back of the house.
No worries. But they want to, in the front of the house, they want to replace their walkway. And there is a river that is off to the left there. You can see the wetlands in back. There's a river off to the, was that 50 feet away from the work site?
Yeah, this is the 50-foot line off the Assabet River. I think it's the Assabet. And the work is being proposed to replace the front walk to match the tile, I'm not sure, the stone that's in the back. They want to match the front to the back. And I have a photo of that. It will come up.
Oh, we've got a hand up here.
Yeah, this might be Mitch.
Let's see, I'm going to ask him to unmute.
Hey there, this is Mitch. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Mitch, can be just a little bit louder maybe?
Sure.
Okay,
For some reason, my Zoom isn't working, but I've got you guys up on the YouTube live stream, and I'm on this phone call, so I can kind of follow. Yeah, basically, I'm here for Damon Accardi, representing him. He's at 89 School Street. He just wants to switch out his pavers on the front walkway to match his patio in the back, and then he wants to redo his landing right outside of the front door. So, I see the picture up now. So that's his front walkway that he just wants to switch out the pavers, put in the ones similar to what he has in the back.
and I think the plan showed some erosion control devices, right, around the edge there, or across the
That's
driveway,
right, yep.
maybe?
Yep, Vincent asked if we could just put some erosion control at the bottom of the path where it meets the driveway there. We'll put some hay bales or straw bales in that area, just looping it around so any sediment from that area doesn't migrate towards or over the driveway and towards the wetlands and river.
Okay, so it's outside the 35. All the work is outside 35.
Yes.
Any questions from the commission, comments?
Oh, okay by me.
Okay. Then let's take a vote to close this hearing.
So moved.
Second,
Roll call, Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
yes,
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
All right, great. Thank you very much, everybody.
We're not quite done yet.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Do we need any more controls than what they list, Vinny? Is that enough, or?
Oh, I think they're fine. Actually, I mean, having the erosion controls there, if they do it in weather we've been having recently, that shouldn't be any problem at all. They may not even need the hay bales, but they have them on site and have them to have them ready is what we want. Because it could move quickly. They're gonna have to dig it all out. And depending on weather, it may not be needed, but it's good to have it just in case.
So let's just vote to approve the project change as listed with the erosion control devices.
Right.
Need a motion for that?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second,
By
Second.
Justin. Second by Kelly. You're just a little bit behind tonight, just a little slow.
We're waiting for Kelly to do the motion. That's what we're looking
That's
for.
right. Oh, darn it. Okay, well.
I would
next month's gonna
fail.
be- Next month's gonna be.
I would fail
chock-a-block
at Jeopardy.
too. Okay, roll call vote. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Now you're done.
All right, I appreciate it, everybody. Have a good
Okay,
night.
thanks. Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Just as a side discussion, when we were out at the site, we noticed that the wetland back of the house there, given these dry conditions, was very full. And there was no flow going through the culvert underneath the street, underneath Summer Street, right? No.
School Street.
School Street. So we did some investigation of the house across the street, and I think Vinny, you discovered there might be some beaver activity.
Yeah, it turns out there's beaver activity downstream of this because there was backwater in the on the culvert within School Street right next to this where this river goes across. The culvert pipe looks like it's like a 42-inch or a 48-inch pipe, and it was 3/4 back full. So there's a lot of standing water behind it. So the water's not flowing through the pipe. That's why the pond upstream on the neighbor's property was flooding as well, where we ended up getting our feet wet a little bit.
Another opportunity discovered.
Yes.
Does that mean that the town will take care of the beaver problem, or is that just?
That means that we're aware of it, and I've got to go out and verify the actual location of the dam itself. And I think it's on the railroad tracks, but I'm trying to verify that. And I hope to get out there tomorrow or the next day, but so far we've been lucky. We haven't gotten a lot of rain to cause problems. But I need to get out there and then I'll verify it with the town engineer and the DPW staff to see what the next step is.
Okay,
Vinny, is this connected to the Juniper Hill issue?
It certainly is. That's why when we went by Juniper Hill, they had high water and there are beaver active there as well.
All right, that's the end of the public hearings. COCs, 0 Lyman Street, you said they're not quite ready for that?
They're not ready. They're doing a little more work out there, so they're not done yet.
How about 68 Northgate Road?
68 Northgate is ready. They submitted a request for a certificate of completion. They had requested to clear an area in the backyard, 35 or up to, I think, about 30 feet away from the brook in the back of Northgate. And I have a photo. Share my screen here.
oh, that looks nice.
They did a nice job, and they've put in the black fence all the way around where they had said they were going to put it, and the grass is growing nice and green. This was taken on July 27th, so it was a dry period, and they're taking care of it well.
Yep, came in, yes, nice job.
I gotta find out how he's keeping his grass that green.
Probably a lot of water.
Really, no kidding. All right, so Kelly, we need a motion to issue a certificate of compliance here for 68 Northgate.
So moved.
Oh, boy.
There you go. Good job.
That took a long time.
Is there a second?
Second,
Seconded by Diane. Roll call, Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Gouldner,
yes,
Kelly Marston. Kelly Marston. Did we lose Kelly?
I'm still here.
Okay. You were by yes
Yes.
vote? Okay, and I vote yes. Okay, very good. So that's all set. That's all I have on the agenda. I have one question here. Vin, any updates on the stewardship plans being approved by DC or the DCR?
I think it's DCR, yes. I sent an email to Jim DeMeo and didn't get a reply asking what the status, who they're going to notify. So I haven't seen anything to me, and I just want to make sure that they didn't send it to Maya's old email. I think I get all her stuff, but I just want to make sure that we know where it's going, and when they reply that someone actually gets it.
Keep chasing that. That's step one. So,
Right.
all right. Anything else going on? Anybody has seen or has concerns about or wants an update on?
I just had a quick question. Speaking of Lyman Street and Beaver, wasn't DCAM supposed to give us some sort of beaver plan for that Lyman Street area?
Yes, that was part of when they came in for their request for a certificate of completion. I asked for that because it was noted, and I was told that they were expecting to have more beaver in that area right after they breached it, and they did some work and they haven't seen another beaver in that area since then. So their plan is to kind of wait to see whether there's a beaver that's going to show up. I responded that that didn't sound like quite the plan that the commission was going to be looking for. So I've got a meeting with them tomorrow afternoon to look at some other work that they're going to be proposing out there. And I think Susan Rook was the woman who presented to the commission. She's going to be there, and I'll kind of reiterate the request for a plan for the beaver. We don't need details because we don't know where they are, but just some kind of a plan is what I think the commission is looking for. And if you can provide me a little more information, I'd forward that to her as well if you have
I
it.
thought we decided we didn't need anything. That if it, they had to, this was all about getting that temporary road open so they could get the water tanks out. And after they did that, what difference did it make if the beavers took over again?
I just remembered some discussion about a plan and they said they were gonna give us something, so.
Yeah, the
Dan, I
minutes,
thought you were on my side when I had that conversation.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to remember, it was so long ago, so maybe. Yeah, I don't care if the beaver are there or not,
Right.
quite
I
frankly.
think there was a long discussion about a plan and it was like, well, what do we care? Let them
Yes.
come back.
Right, it's their road that's underwater, not ours, so.
okay, well, that's good information, because I did look at the minutes, and the minutes indicated that Susan said, or I think it was Susan, that said she would come back with a plan. But if the commission doesn't need one, they don't, I'm not gonna push for it. Like you said, it's their access road.
Yeah, I think that's what I was remembering, is her commitment to provide us something, but I don't remember the rest of the conversation.
Well, they also said they're not going, one of the reasons they're not ready is because they're going to auction off all those vehicles that are sitting in that lot.
Well, they do that every couple of months.
Some of those vehicles have been sitting there since, for a long time, I think, but.
Yeah, no,
It's
that
like
the
a-
intent is to auction, like clear that area within 100 feet buffer, clear that area out, and then just regrade it and reseed it so that we get grass growing again. I'm not sure what they're doing next. That might be what they've asked me to go out and meet them just up the road and see. I mean, if any of the members want to join me, it's tomorrow at 1:30, right up at, they named what the building foundation, it used to be announcing in Chauncey Hall. It's not Lake Chauncey Hall, so I don't know, but it was just north of that, the facility there where you kind of go around a bend and Hospital Road comes in a little south of it.
Might have been where they already took some stuff down.
Yeah, there used to be a building there and there was a hall that
Right.
had a name, but I don't remember the name of the local. If anyone
Okay,
wants
so-
to send me an email or call and I'll get the information and we can meet out there.
Anybody have anything else you want to bring up? Is everybody here in September? September 12th.
Sadly, yes.
Kelly will be short-staffed September 12th because everybody's back at school.
Oh.
Yes, if anyone wants to drive an ice cream truck, let me know.
Very good, very good. Okay, then if we're ready to go. Not bad, 47 minutes. So September might be big. Again, we may have 0 Hudson Street, the 93 Maynard violation and plan, and also 75 Ridge. There's a lot of interest in that one, so. Okay, we need a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
There she goes.
That's seconded by Kelly.
Kelly motion,
Sorry,
didn't you?
seconded by Diane.
Yes.
Okay.
We could teamwork it.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes.
Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Thanks, folks.